TEW fans, Jolly J here, bringing you the next episode of Freedom Caribbean Wrestling. It is May 2016, time for Freedom or Death 9. Of course, I forgot to change the event picture yet again, but my goal is to sit down and do that after I finish this event and change all of the events because I've already finished the designs. I just have to put them in the game. So anyway, Freedom or Death 9. Tonight we know the Freedom Classic will start. We'll have the first couple of matches of that tournament. And we also know Rudy Velasquez gets to take on Handsome Stranger for the #1 contendership to Hell's Bouncers Puerto Rican Championship. Other than that, it's a pretty packed show. I've been saving money, and now we're going to start spending it. So that's going to be fun. But let's go ahead and jump into the match, into the show. And we open the show in front of 1,000 people at Gymnasium Aguada yet again. Puerto Rican Power comes down to the ring and grabs the mic and says, "Welcome to Freedom or Death 9. And of course, loud round of applause as they already have cheered Puerto Rican Power for a couple of minutes. He says, "Tonight, we will have the #1 contenders match for Hell's Bouncers Puerto Rican Championship. Rudy Velasquez takes on Handsome Stranger, and the winner will face Hell's Bouncer for that championship in 2 months at our July event." Now, we also have the Freedom Classic beginning tonight. And it is my honor to show you the bracket for the first annual Freedom Classic. And so here is the bracket. We have just star-studded, gold-studded competition in this classic. It is a very tag team-focused tournament. Some tournaments that are tag team are more about just two people teaming up. But no, this is tag team. And so we have the Puerto Rican boys taking on the Dynamite Express, the FCW champions taking on the MAW champions in the first round. That match will be tonight. And we also have Animal Harker and Tennessee William, the Southern Stars, the New York City Wrestling Tag Team champions, taking on the Wildcats, El Jaguar and Tigre Salvaje Jr., who, even though they're on the FCW roster, they will represent CZCW as the CZCW, the Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions. We also have, that match will be tonight too. We also have next month, Cosmic Rider and La Sombra, the Shadow Riders, I think. The Shadow Riders will take on Bailey and McCain. Now, the Shadow Riders are the Ollie Tag Team Champions, and Bailey and McCain are the 4C Tag Team Champions. I cannot remember the order of what the C's stand for. But that is the last of the Tag Team Champions in the Freedom Classic. In our last match of the first round, we have the 937-pound Express, King Kong Kennedy and Ox Mastodon, taking on the American Cobras, Marvel Malloy and Storm Spillane. And you can see those alts that I found on the forums. I loved those alts and I had to use them. So that is our bracket for the first annual Freedom Classic. We will see the first two matches tonight. The first two matches of the first round tonight, and then the next two matches next month. And so, Puerto Rican Power puts down the mic after revealing the bracket. Of course, a lot of celebration. People have been anticipating the bracket and the teams and the matchups, and so now we have more matches to look forward to. As we go into a match to start, or our first match of the show, I was going to say to start the show, but Puerto Rican Power started the show. So our first match of the night, in a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Princeton Price defeated Chucky Durant in 9:48 by submission. Yet again, no finisher noted there for Price. So Chucky, I didn't really get into it last time, but he has this clubber gimmick. And he is a very poor entertainer. If you haven't looked at his stats, he's like below 30 or around 30 in every entertainment stat. So he's just a very poor entertainer. So I picture this gimmick, a clubber. I would think they would need to have charisma, star quality to make it work. Well, he didn't have any of that. So I picture it being so bad that it's good. That his music hits and he just fist pumps all the way down to the ring and does a little bit of poor dancing to the club music. Maybe some dancing during the match as well that gets the crowd a little going, even though he's a heel. But that's just how I picture his gimmick. But anyway, Princeton Price defeats Chucky Durant. It's a pretty straightforward match. 10 minutes, but most of it is Price controlling the match. And Chucky does get a bit of offense in. But for the most part, Price controls the match and picks up the win by submission. As we go into another match, Bull Wrecker and Extraordinario Jr. In a decent match, Extraordinario Jr. defeated Bull Wrecker in 9:51 by pinfall with a Siempre Peleando. So a 43 rating, pretty good there. 53 performance from Extraordinario Jr. This I just see going as Bull Wrecker dominating. It's a 9-minute 51 match, dominating for about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes or so. And Extraordinario Jr. is able to showcase his resolve, his tenacity, and his endurance to withstand such a beating and then come back and still win the match. In the past couple of matches, he's just shown his athleticism, but this time he can actually show his toughness. So he does pick up the win there. Not a bad match at all. As we go into an angle backstage with Princeton Price and Davis Wayne Newton, Price is basically getting ready to leave the arena. He's walking out with his bag as Davis Wayne Newton just out of nowhere comes from behind and nails Princeton Price in the back, shoving him into the wall head first, as then Davis Wayne Newton just stomps him down to the ground until he's laying flat on his back, kind of in the corner between the wall and the floor. And then Davis Wayne Newton just kind of glares at him and then walks away. And now we have our first match. The FCW champion, tag team champions, Puerto Rican boys, taking on the MAW champions, the Dynamite Express. In a decent match, the Dynamite Express defeated the Puerto Rican boys in 10:24 when Sid Collier defeated Kid San Juan by submission with a Texas Cloverleaf after interference from El Jaguar. And we also saw Tigre Salvaje Jr. attack Apollo. So remember a couple of months ago, I think, or so, the Wildcats and the Puerto Rican boys faced off for the Puerto Rican boys' tag team championships. And the Puerto Rican boys picked up the win, but the Wildcats certainly believe they should not have lost that match and are entitled to a tag team championship rematch. And they're letting the Puerto Rican boys know here that they are coming for those tag team champions. This match I see as back and forth for a few minutes. Island Boy Apollo and Kid San Juan getting some nice quick tags. Not really dominating, but controlling the match at first. And then Island Boy Apollo just gets hit hard by Cameron Jones to slow the pace. And then the Dynamite Express really grind down Island Boy Apollo. I see them as a very efficient and lethal tag team. And so they were just working down Island Boy Apollo and controlling the match for another, 4 or 5 minutes or so. Then he gets the hot tag and Kid San Juan comes in. However, he does get a little flurry, but he is met by Sid Collier and really squashes that momentum, controls the match again. But again, Kid San Juan hits another comeback. But he's so exhausted at this time, by the time he knocks Sid Collier down, all four men are essentially, they crash into the ring and lay each other out. And at this time, the Wildcats come down to the ring. Tigre distracts the ref, distracts Island Boy Apollo, and El Jaguar, I forgot his name, El Jaguar attacks Kid San Juan behind the ref's back, leading to Sid Collier getting the Texas Cloverleaf and the tap out. I hope that all made sense. I was thinking faster than I was talking, so hopefully I made sense there. We go into the next segment now. Rob Reynolds takes on Logan Wolfsbane after his performance last month. I was really hopeful that he would do a little better than this. Not a bad match, but his performance is well below what I expected, and Logan Wolfsbane is too close for what I expected as well. But in a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Reynolds defeated Wolfsbane in 6:17 with a real deal rocker. So Reynolds dominates the match. Logan gets maybe a kick in or something, or a punch, but that's it. Rob Reynolds works at his own pace and picks up the win with the real deal rocker. And that goes straight into our number one contenders match, in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling. Rudy defeated Handsome Stranger in 16:29 by pinfall with a street cutter. During the match, we also had Kip Keenan distract Handsome Stranger. So a 16.5-minute match. We have Rudy and Handsome Stranger enter the ring, of course. I'd say for about about half the match. It's just back and forth, hold for hold, punch for punch, reversal for reversal, that typical kind of back and forth match. And then Handsome Stranger starts to really slowly take advantage. He's starting to get more reversals and more punches than Rudy. And then he starts to get even more reversals and punches than Rudy, until he just starts wearing him down and he is controlling the match, suplexes. Rudy's not really reversing anything anymore. And then he finally, he doesn't hit, he hits, I don't know what his signature move would be, not his finisher, but his signature move. And he hits that, and we hear just the crowd explode, and Handsome Stranger thinks it's for him. So he's reveling in the cheering that the crowd's doing. But little does he know, Kip Keenan has appeared and is walking towards the ring, and Stranger turns around and finally sees him. As Kip is, you can't really tell what they're saying, but they're mouthing at each other, as Rudy is slowly recovering, getting back to his feet. And Handsome Stranger turns around right into the street cutter. 1, 2, 3. Rudy picks up the win. And we go into, after a 48 rating, not a bad match. Could be better, but not bad. We go into an angle featuring Rudy and Kip Keenan. Now, it features Kip, but he's there. That's all it is. He stays on the outside as Rudy just celebrates his victory. Rudy grabs the mic and very short promo just says, "Hell's Bouncer, me and you for that championship in a couple of months. I will take that title from you, because when I want something, I will do whatever it takes to get it. I will take that title from you." And that brings us to our tag team main event match. The New York City Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Southern Stars, taking on the Coastal Zone Tag Team Champions, the Wildcats. In a decent match, the Southern Stars defeated the Wildcats in 12:03 when Tennessee William defeated El Jaguar by pinfall by using underhanded tactics. That's not exactly what I wanted. But during the match, we also saw Island Boy Apollo attack or distract El Tigre, and Kid San Juan also distract El Jaguar. So that's not exactly what I wanted to happen as far as the underhanded tactics. But let's just get into the match here. So 49 rating, really good actually. We got some good, well, a good gimmick and a bad gimmick, but you know, that's fine. Animal Harker and Tennessee Williams showed excellent chemistry teaming together, which is fantastic. I love seeing that. So this match, of course, both teams enter, and it starts out immediately. The Wildcats, just a fury that we haven't seen yet, really attacking the Southern Stars. Nobody is tag eligible yet. They're all four in the ring, and they're just beating down the Southern Stars. And the ref regains order. The bell's already rung, but the ref decides not to count anybody and just to separate and get the match started. So after a few minutes of that, the Wildcats really controlling the Southern Stars until I'd say Animal Harker gets tagged in and starts brawling with the Wildcats, and they just can't match his brawling ability, and they can't use their high flying ability either, because Animal Harker is just so relentless, and he just keeps going after them. They can't get away, and so the Southern Stars really start controlling the match now, using they're both brawlers, I believe, or at least really good at brawling. So they're using that to their advantage, really controlling the Wildcats. And then we have the Puerto Rican boys come down the ring. Now they don't rush down there. They don't try to get the ref or anything. They just walk down to ringside, and that's enough. The Wildcats get distracted as Tennessee William then hits his finisher on El Jaguar and picks up the win by pinfall. I did Tainted. Let's see. I did Tainted, right? That's not what I wanted. Road Agent notes. Yeah, I did Tainted because I wanted the Southern Stars to win because of the distraction, which to me is a tainted win. But I don't like the underhanded tactics. I guess I should have said distraction finish. Maybe that would have worked. But anyway, it is what it is. The Southern Stars advance in the tag team tournament. That is the Freedom Classic. And then after the match, we have a good rating. Just a brawl between the Puerto Rican boys and the Wildcats. They've been all over each other the entire night, pretty much. They've had a rivalry going for a couple of months, but it just really escalated tonight. And we end the show with them brawling back and forth. No high-flying maneuvers from either Kid San Juan or either of the Wildcats. Just furious punches back and forth. And it's eventually broken up by some road agents and some backstage personnel as well. But other than that, that is the show, Freedom or Death 9. So next month, we know we will have 2 more matches in the tag team tournament. But that's all we really know. We don't know too much else about what's going on next month. Maybe some more stuff will be announced. But as of now, that's the end of the show. That's the end of this video. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment or anything. Any form of support is great. I really appreciate all that you guys are doing. I actually started this series and started the channel and hoped that maybe a handful of people would subscribe and want to watch my videos. And in about a week or so since I've started it, I already have that, which is awesome. And thank you guys so much. So next time we will be back in the Puerto Rico region in the Gymnasium Aguada for our June event. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Oh, let me end the show. Shit. We had a 45 rating for the show, which is odd to me. That's a lot lower than like most of the ratings. All right, well, I guess the production values really affected the show. But anyway, that's enough. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.